Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Eva Marie Everson. I'm the director of Florida Christian Writers Conference, and my sidekick over here is.
I'm Taryn Souders, and I am the co-director of the Florida Christian Writers Conference.
And it's so good to see you again, Taryn. I was just in Texas over the weekend, and you have lived in Texas.
Yes, it's my home state.
It's your home state. Yes. How long did you live there?
I've lived there. Okay, I was born there and lived there for my first 10 years. And then I moved back and went to college there, met my husband there. We purposefully stayed until we had our first child so that she could say she was Texan. And then we moved away when she was 3 weeks old.
You also lived in Colorado for a while, didn't you?
And Oregon. But
wow.
So kind of I hit like sort of not really the four corners. I'm more like a parallelogram. In that
right
aspect.
Yeah, that's a word that's big. But then you went to high school here in Florida, did you not?
I did. I went to high school and some college. By the time I graduated college, I had 7 transcripts.
Wow.
I moved. I had commitment issues apparently.
Yes, but thank goodness not with the husband that you met in Texas or with your kids. So that's
right. That's exactly right.
And not with Word Weavers or Florida Christian Writers Conference.
That's right. I've worked out my commitment issues.
All that therapy was worth it.
That's right. That's right.
So we have purposefully set today aside not to interview one of our ongoing class people. What do you call it?
Faculty. They're called faculty.
Faculty. They're called faculty. So they're called. I don't care what you call me. Just call me for dinner. Yeah. So yeah, our ongoing class faculty members. That's who we've been interviewing lately, and you can find those, here at the YouTube channel. And of course, you will continue to be able to find them. But we started getting a lot of questions that were coming in, and we said, hey, let's just do a Q&A type thing. So we have them all printed out and we're ready to go. And I'm going to ask the first question. I'm going to let Taryn answer it. This is one that, a lot of people have asked us about because this is totally new for us. And that is, how is Kidslit going to work?
So Kidslit is a day-long intensive that happens before FCWC. So it's all day, Wednesday, October 19th. You are able to check in
Wednesday, October 20th.
20th. Yes, 20th.
Yeah,
sorry.
We've had some people that got really confused. I thought I was supposed to be there. Yeah.
Well, here's this. I think this is why I said that. Well,
this is why
I said that. You can check in on the 19th, but only really if you're staying the night. Some people have signed up because either they live far away or they're flying in and they want to make sure they're there first thing in the morning. So they've actually paid to stay an extra night, and they're checking in on Tuesday and spending the night so that they're there for Wednesday when it officially starts. Now, all day Wednesday, it's nothing but workshops. It's going to be great. We have 12 workshops for you to choose from. It's going to be so fun. We have a special lunch with a special speaker. That evening is going to be a blast because we are doing a movie preview of one of Bill Meyer's, his movie that hasn't released yet, or is it about to?
I think it will have released, but in select studios, that kind of thing, or select theaters. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be so fun.
It will be.
So that's what's going
popcorn.
on. That's right. You get popcorn. You can have a root beer float or a Coke float.
Yeah.
You're not going to go hungry at Lake Yale. Let me just tell
you. No, we
never
do.
But we have, again, 12 workshops. You are not, just to clarify, you are not going to get a chance to meet with an editor or an agent or a publisher on that day. But what you will get is the chance to sign up way before anyone else does.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you come in that day, you're going to actually sign up on Wednesday. Everyone else is signing up on Thursday. Sure. And you technically actually do get a chance to meet with some of the faculty that are editors and publishers and agents on that day, because we have meals.
Right.
You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And one of the great things about FCWC and Kidslit is that the faculty eat their meals with the conferees, and that's a great chance to be able to talk with them. Yeah. So if you find you didn't get a chance to meet with an editor and you really wanted to, grab lunch with them. It's a wonderful opportunity to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they are coming in on Tuesday night, just to reiterate, for those people who signed up to come in on Tuesday night, and you have to have done that. You cannot just show up and
Right.
say, oh, well, I just decided I would show up on Tuesday instead of Wednesday. We have to know, because we will not have a room for you. So you have to let us know ahead of time that you are coming in on Tuesday night. There is an extra cost for that, because obviously you're staying an extra night. There will not be dinner that night. Registration is between 6:30 and 8 o'clock. So you have that window to come in, register, get your keys, etc. We're going to have a phone number for you that we'll post later on, that you can call if like your flight is delayed or you got lost or whatever, so that, we will make sure that you're not stranded for the evening or anything like that. We've never done that. We've never had that happen. But one thing that you must realize is that there is no dinner offered that night. Lake Yale will not be feeding us, nor is there any place to eat in the Lake Yale campus. There are restaurants in Eustis, which is not very far away. In fact, that's where we eat.
That's where we eat.
And
Good restaurants.
there
They're
are
really
restaurants in Leesburg, which is also not very far away. Also in Mount Dora, not that far away. And Mount Dora is a charming bedroom community. Absolutely lovely. In fact, so is Eustis. I love Eustis at night. They have all the twinkle lights up and everything is really cute. So you will have choices for dinner. It just will not be at Lake Yale.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's just Tuesday night, though. You'll have dinner from that point on.
From that point on, yeah, you'll have breakfast, lunch, and dinner from that point on. Yes.
Yeah, and then those of you, again, if you're spending the night Tuesday, your breakfast is included the next day.
Yes.
For those of you who are showing up and for registration, and you're like, oh, I'm going to register at 10 and then grab some breakfast. Your breakfast is not included.
No, it's not. And neither is, it is for the Kidslit people, lunch is included,
Right.
but not for people who are just coming in for FCWC, who are just coming in on Wednesday. So please be aware of that. You will need to grab something to eat, because registration does not begin until after lunch for FCWC itself.
That's correct. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question. This is an interesting one. What would be a standard fee or compensation arrangement with an agent for a first-time author of nonfiction Bible interpretation / study? Although this could probably go for really any
yeah, any genre. And that is a great question, because you don't pay an agent. There is no compensation. Agents make their money based on a percentage of what you get from a publisher, from the sale of your books, etc. So if an agent ever says to you, pay me $500 and we'll get started, no, that is a tell that this is not a legitimate agent within the business. So the answer to that question is, you don't pay the agent. The agent is compensated by a percentage of what he or she earns for you.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Now, and keep in mind, there are some agents that have like a side business, and you need to understand those are two separate things. You have agents who, look, these are my clients. I don't charge them to read their work or to edit their work. I get paid when they get paid. Okay. Right. And then they also have, I have an editing business. If you want to hire me for that, that's okay. That's not shady. That's different. Yeah. And then keep in mind that agents represent an author. They don't necessarily represent a single piece of work.
Right.
So just keep in mind, I have a Bible study piece that I want to sell to this agent, but I have a children's book I want to sell to that agent. That's not really how it works.
No. So that's very rare. In fact, I think I've only heard of it one time where, an author had two agents, because they were actually working under two different names, right. Those pen names. One was solely fiction and one was solely nonfiction. And so these two agents were like, this agent only worked in fiction, this agent only worked in nonfiction, that kind of thing.
Right. So and in that case, it totally works.
But that's not for the beginners at all.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. So here's the next question. Do you have any virtual options for FCWC this year?
Okay, so yes and no. So we are not, because of where Lake Yale is and because of the Wi-Fi that's there, we're not ever going to actually offer a conference online where you can zoom into those classrooms and listen to the teacher and watch them. Lake Yale isn't set up to have that kind of equipment. FCWC isn't set up to have that kind of equipment. But what we do is we bring in an agent, or at least this year, we're bringing in one agent and one publisher, and we will allow you to have Zoom meetings with them. So when everyone is signing up for their appointments to meet with an editor or an agent or whoever, you can sign up for a 15-minute time slot to meet with either Sally Pocadoc from a Pocadoc Literary Agency or Deb Haggerty from Elk Lake Publishing. And so that's as online as we get. However, we are also recording the audio to all of the workshops, unless there is some type of like legal snafu where we can't record somebody.
Yes.
And that does happen sometimes.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes because, intellectual property is revealed. For example, the ongoing critiques.
Yeah.
Those are not recorded for obvious reasons. If there's like video that's being played, those are typically not. If people are reading their work aloud, those are not recorded. So, but majority of the classes are recorded.
Right. A lot of them are. And so that you will have access to buy. If you're not able to come to the conference, you can buy the digital files basically. Yes. Or the audio files, I'm sorry.
We will have those for sale after the conference, not before or during, but after the conference. Now, if you are attending the conference, you have that option to purchase the entire conference and those audio files. We will have those for you. And you can do that at the time of registration. But if you're not attending the conference, that will come later. We'll keep you posted.
And if you buy them now, it's actually $5 cheaper than if you buy it at the door.
That's true. If you're attending the conference.
If you're attending the conference,
yes. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so Eva, what if I have special dietary needs? What do I do?
Well, if you have special dietary needs, and I know we've confused a couple of people on this, you actually need to begin by contacting us and letting us know, and then we will contact Lake Yale, because for a while there, Lake Yale was not sure what they were going to have as far as dietary needs. If you remember last year, because of COVID, I think they went from like 75 full-time employees to 13 or 11, something like that.
Yeah, small.
And so those 11 employees were filling in all the gaps. And they could not do the soup and salad bar, which is absolutely excellent. This year it's back, yay. So for a lot of people with special dietary needs, the soup and salad bar is like the place to go. But if yours goes above and beyond that, you will need to contact us. We will then contact Lake Yale. They will probably want to talk with you specifically. But there are some things that we can't, they're not going to be able to help you with simply because they do not have the staff that they had for so long. And then there are some things that they will be able to. So we all just have to be understanding about that. Also, at, meal times, that brings us to the whole meal times thing. No, actually, it does not bring us to the meal times thing. I was looking at another question that I had written down that you skipped.
Oh, I skipped one? Oh, I did skip one. Let's ask that one.
I'm going to ask you. I'll just ask you this question. Okay. When do we sign up for appointments with editors and agents?
All right. So if you're attending FCWC, you're going to sign up Thursday afternoon. I think we open the doors typically at 4:00.
4:00. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be in a big room. Everyone will be in there. All of the faculty that you would want to meet with would be in there behind a desk or a table. They will have a sign-up sheet in front of them. These sign-up sheets are broken up into 15-minute time slots, and you are guaranteed 3 appointments. So we'll open the doors. It's kind of like the running of the bulls. Y'all go in and you sign your name into whoever you want to meet with. Once everyone has gotten 3 appointments, we let you back in, and if there's empty spots, you can take those. We've had some years where people have met with 6 or 7 agents or publishers or editors. Yeah. It's wonderful. I don't know of any other conference, and I've been involved with a lot of conferences. I don't have any other conference that does that for free. I mean, I know with SCBWI, you want to meet with an editor or an agent, you're paying to do that.
Yeah.
So take advantage of this by all means.
Yes. And then also remember that if you don't get to sign up with someone that you really wanted to meet with, you will be able to sit with them at meal times. books.
Yep.
Which is awesome. So you will go, they will sit at the same table. They will be assigned a table. They will be there at lunch and dinner. We do not require faculty to show up for a breakfast. And they will be there for lunch and dinner. You can sit with them. You can chat with them. In fact, a great story. I wanted to meet with Vicki Crumpton when I attended the Mount Hermon conference in 2003. Really wanted to meet with her. Could not get an appointment with her. She was with Baker Publishing. Everybody wanted to meet with her. And so I had said to my agent, oh, I really, really, really wanted to meet with her and didn't get to. And he arranged it so that I could sit with her at dinner. And so I sat with her at dinner, and long story short, I ended up publishing 13 books with Baker, with Vicki as primarily my editor. I did have one or two other editors that were kind of thrown in a couple of times, but primarily Vicki was my editor. And, that came from Mealtime. 13 books.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And we've brought Vicki into FCWC before.
Oh, yes. The relationship we love when Vicki comes. Yeah, we do.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And on that note, when you are sitting with any of the faculty, and I'm mainly saying this about the editors and the agents, because we know that's who you guys really want to talk with. Remember, you don't monopolize the table conversation. Talk with them, but remember, you're there with like 5 or 6 other people who all want to talk with that person as well.
Everybody wants to talk to that person.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And, and then on that note, I just want to throw this in. I think this is one of the things I was saying to you earlier, Taryn. I was like, there was something else I wanted to add. And that is, we have this vast array of mentors. These are the professionals. They are freelancers, they are agents, they are editors, etc. And they will go above and beyond. You can sign up. It's called Brainstorming with the Experts. If you go to our website, www.word-weavers.com/Florida events, click over there to the kind of top right, click on Florida events. It will have a drop-down menu. It says Brainstorming with the Experts. That's where you want to go. And the whole page tells you who has signed up to do this, what they are looking for, the things that they specialize in, etc. How you can connect with them. If you have any trouble with that, please let us know. Sometimes, emails get lost along the way. So just let us know. But there is an extra charge for this. And I think it's 40 or 45. I'm not sure.
Can't remember. I think it's.
But instead of 15 minutes with them, you get 30. 30, is it 30 minutes with them?
Yeah.
And you've gotten your work ahead of time. So they are not just going to talk to you about your work. They can talk to you about where you need to go next in your career and things like that. So again, this is an awesome opportunity that we offer at Florida Christian Writers Conference. It's so exciting every year. And so, you will find them, you will find the person that you signed up to meet with, and you will discover, like, okay, on the sign up sheet, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to meet with you here. We will make sure all that is done ahead of time so that your time is not taken from you.
One other thing I need to add about agents and such, if you are a commuter and you are only going to be at the conference Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, in other words, you're not going to be there Thursday to sign up to meet with an agent or editor, and you want to meet with them, you need to email me, and tell me who your top 3 choices are, and I will schedule that for you. And I will say, okay, you're going to be meeting with this person at this time. I need to know your top 3 choices and what time you are planning on arriving at the conference center. Because it doesn't do me any good if I give you a 9 o'clock in the morning appointment and you're not planning on getting there until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
So true. It doesn't work. Yep. Okay. So here's the next question. Should I bring any books, materials for agents if I do that? And should I bring a large tablet for note taking?
Definitely bring something to take notes on. People oftentimes bring their laptops or an iPad or a notebook of some kind. You want something to take notes on because you're going to get a whole lot of information. If you have materials for agents, I'm assuming you're talking like a one sheet or a book proposal, maybe a first chapter. Yeah, you should bring some copies. I think for I think on average, we tell people bring like 6 copies.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
even though we guarantee you 3 appointments and they might ask for that, although an agent, if they ask everyone for paper, they're going to be lugging home a very heavy, knapsack or something.
Yeah.
They might just have you
email this to me. Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably going to say that. You can have, don't bring any more than 6 copies. You might not even need all 6, but it is nice to have a paper copy to be able to hand someone should they ask for it.
Yes. But what you do want to have is a business card.
Yes.
That's often helpful to have a headshot on that business card.
Yep.
So that they will remember you. There's got to be, they meet a lot of people, so they've got to have some way of remembering you. And sometimes you can get really creative with that.
That is exactly right. And which is another reason why you should also make an appointment with Malcolm Yon.
That's true. Yes.
Should you if you want to bring books that you've done for the purpose of selling them, that's a totally different thing. If you're like, well, should I bring books to give to an agent? I would say no. They're not going to want it.
Yeah.
And number one, it's extra weight for them
you
to
can
carry.
show them, like, this is a book that I did on my own. I remember doing that myself. Like, this is a book that I did on my own, and I'm ready to take that plunge. I'm ready to join forces with a publisher, that kind of thing. But it was my book. I didn't leave it with them because I knew that it's a lot to take back.
It is. And come prepared with numbers as well with an agent. If you're like, hey, I've self-published a book and it has sold XYZ number of copies, that information they're going to want. So do your research ahead of time and just remember, it's a sales pitch.
Yeah.
Writing is a business. You have to sell it.
You do. And that's why on Wednesday night, we do have the one sheet workshop. So you can learn everything about what goes into a one sheet and that kind of thing. And just so bring your laptop, bring a flash drive. We do have a printer in the office you can use as long as you talk to us beforehand. You will need to do that. Somebody is almost always in the office, but just make sure there's somebody in there to make sure it's working properly and you're pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah, because most of the time it's hooked up to our personal computer.
Yeah, you can put the flash drive in and it will print for you. So so we have that. So you can go to the class on Wednesday night, learn about one sheets, go back to your room and be prepared, to do some work on it. And then on Thursday morning, come in and we'll print some copies for you.
That's
We'll
right.
print a lot. We're not going to print 100 copies for you,
Right.
but 5-6 copies. Yeah, we'll be happy to do that.
Yay. Okay, so here's a good question for you, Eva. What can you tell us about the conference in regards to dress, the etiquette about, talking about your own personal stuff, what you have? What about parking and meals for those people who are commuting?
Okay. All right. That's a good question.
There's a bunch there. Yeah.
Good questions. This is Florida. And so we want you to be comfortable. So I would say, dress casually. Some people will wear jeans and that's fine, with like a nice top. You don't want to be in a ratty old t-shirt, like you shouldn't even be seen outside of the house in. But you can wear nice tees. I mean, I've certainly seen people wearing really nice t-shirts with a nice pair of jeans and a jacket perhaps, or whatever. So other people are more comfortable wearing business casual. You don't need to dress up at all unless you want to dress up for the awards banquet. And I'm going to kind of, especially encourage you to do that if you submitted your work to the contest, because you're going to have your picture taken and you have your picture made, as we say in the South, and, with your award, and you're going to want to look nice. So it's just a lot of fun to get a little more dressed up that day or that evening, I should say. But for the most part, be comfortable, be casual, but be professional. That's the important thing. You are going to make a first impression with some of these people, and you never get to make but one of those. So etiquette about talking about your own personal materials. This is one thing that I know a lot of people get nervous about. Oh, what if I share my idea with an editor or an agent or even a fellow conferee, and then they take that? I have not seen that happen too terribly often. in all of my years. And I'll tell you why, because most of us have so many of our own ideas that we don't need to steal yours. I've often said that this is the one industry where we train up our competition, and we actually get excited if you come with an idea and it's a great idea, and an editor or an agent wants to, take it to the next level. We get very excited, even if it's, it's not our joy, it's not our crown, but we get excited for you because we got to share that with you and talk with you about it. And you don't ever know. Sometimes when you're talking to someone about, like an idea that you have, you may be struggling with a little piece of it. And then that person goes, well, what if you did this? And it's like, yowzer, that's it. That's the missing piece of this puzzle that I needed. So we really are here. We should be, as Christian brothers and sisters in this publishing industry, to help each other. So, if you get that little check in your spirit, like you don't need to be talking about this, then just don't talk about it. Just don't. It's okay. It's all right. But during your 15-minute appointments with an editor or an agent, the question is often, how much of my work do I give away? How much of my storyline, or how much of my, theme in my book do I give away? You want to really talk it out with editors. Yeah, just
You
get it
share
out
it
there.
all.
Yeah, because they need to know that you have really thought this through. You don't want to leave them hanging with I don't know if they're going to be able to carry that from A to Z. You want them to know that you can.
Yeah, editors, really, and agents need to know that you can tell a complete story.
Yeah.
Now, I am speaking to fiction writers when I say this. I know with nonfiction, that's a different ball of wax entirely, but can you complete that full circle? And if you don't want your pitch to them to read like a back cover copy,
right?
They need to know that you know how to I call it French braiding Medusa's hair. You have to get all those loose ends and put them together so that the story is told.
That's absolutely right. And also, even for nonfiction, they need to know that you can take a thought or an idea or a subject matter and carry it from beginning to middle to end, that you are going to complete your, what it is that you're trying to teach or to tell within the pages of the book. So you're not just opening up a question with no answer. You're giving both the question and the answer and some examples and things like that. Now, when it comes to parking, et cetera, that's going to be pretty self-explanatory. When you drive into Lake Yale, you're going to hang a left. And that left will actually then kind of circle around like this to the right. It will also go straight, but you don't want to go straight because I think you'll end up like on a farm or something.
Yeah, I think you end up in the camp, like the youth camps.
Yeah, the youth camp. Yeah, there you go. That's a farm. And so then you're going to veer off to the right, and there'll be signs. They'll say, Florida Christian Writers Conference, and they'll have the arrow and everything. You are going to pass. It looks like a colonial building on the left, a gazebo on the right, and then you'll come around another curve, and right there is a building that looks like a church with a steeple, although they took the steeple off, but you can tell that it used to have a steeple. That's our building. That's where we are. It's called McGuire. So you will want to make your way there. Parking is evident. It's right there. You're going to come in the far right-hand doors. So there's a big lake right here. You can see it. So you're going to walk around like you're going toward the lake, but then you will see the doors on the left, but it's on the far right-hand side, and they're double doors. You'll go in there. That is our registration. Again, it will be clearly marked. The building next to that, to the right of that, is the dining room, and it's labeled dining room, so you can't miss it. So, and all the parking is all right there. It's going to be easy breezy, trust me.
Yeah, and if you can park in between the dining room and McGuire, that's the best place to park, especially if you have books to unload for the bookstore or something, because it's just a short little, hop, skip, and jump, and you're there. Yeah.
It's a jaunt, a little jaunt.
A little jaunt. And with meals, that's the last thing we need to cover. If you are commuting, you get 2 meals. You either get breakfast and lunch, or you get lunch and dinner.
Well, actually, we prefer that you get lunch and dinner.
Right.
Yeah, because that's easier for us to deal with. But we have had a couple of people who say, no, I will be gone by dinner time. I'm not even staying for the general session. So
Yeah.
they do opt for breakfast, but we need to know that we have to have an exact head count.
Right. And some of you have paid for the VIP breakfast.
Yes.
We're like, you get 2 meals. So that's going to be one of them. And then,
Yes.
okay. All right. Excellent. Oh, and this one, we could just wrap into that one. The exact address for where we come for registration, we just kind of told you.
Yeah.
It's in McGuire. There's not an address for that.
It's not an exact address.
Yeah.
No.
The address for Lake Yale is 39034 County Road 452 in Leesburg, if you need that. But I think that's on.
Yeah. Put that in your GPS. If you've never been there before and you're driving down County Road 452 and you're thinking, I'm lost, you're almost there.
That's right. That's exactly right. You're not lost.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of little signs, it'll say Lake Yale this, Lake Yale that, blah, blah, blah. But then there are like 2 grand entrance walls, I guess,
Yes.
that say Lake Yale Baptist Conference Center. And that's where you turn in. Again, you're going to take a left, don't take a right, take a left, and it will veer on around to the right. You will pass as you turn into the left, you will pass this magnificent live oak with branches that run along the ground. It's one of the most wonderful trees I have ever seen in my life. It's awesome.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
You'll know you're in the right place. You'll know.
Right.
Okay. So here's the next question. What if I have books to sell?
We hope you do.
Yeah, we do.
We have a fabulous bookstore at FCWC that we open up not only to the faculty, but also to conferees. So if you have any books that you want to sell at the conference, we encourage you to bring them. However many copies you bring is up to you. There is somewhat limited space on the table, so we probably won't have you put everything out, but you can always restock whenever you want to. Although our bookstore staff, which is John and Linda Gilden, they're fantastic. If they see that you're running low and they know where your restock is, they can handle that for you. There is a form that we are going to send out shortly. And it is, if you want to sell your stuff, you just need to make sure you bring this form with you. It's an inventory form. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The bookstore does take 20%, and all of that goes towards scholarships and paying the bills and that sort of thing.
That's right. Yeah.
We encourage
it's a great bookstore. It truly is. Every year, it's just like
it gets bigger and bigger.
And you know what? It doesn't just have to be books. It could be, like Taryn has these awesome t-shirts that she makes and coffee mugs and things like that. So if it's merchandise, especially if it lends itself toward writing, of course, obviously, then, bring it on. It's, we would love to have it. We just love our bookstores.
There's someone who brings every year, they bring these like ink pens carved out of wood. They're amazing. Yeah.
My husband used to make those.
Really? He should send you some.
Actually, I think he got rid of the little, the
machines
that you hold, that it holds the wood and you turn it and
oh man,
either something like that. Yeah. He made some beautiful, beautiful pens. Okay. So
Eva, can you tell us, what are the rooms like? Are there refrigerators, ironing boards, blow dryers? What can I expect if I've never been before?
So especially if you are in a double room, like you're going to share with somebody, there is a queen size bed, there is a twin bed. They're both very comfortable. The rooms are, they are nice. They are not 5-star hotel nice, but they are nice rooms. They're clean rooms. There is not a refrigerator. It's called a cooler. So if you have like medications or things like that, or something you just want to simply keep cool, you can put it there. Just a little, like a college dorm type refrigerator. There are ironing boards and irons. There are not blow dryers in most of the rooms. So you will either need to bring a blow dryer. If you forget your blow dryer, you can check one out from the bookstore. We do have a few, but you have to bring them back because we don't have 1,001. We just have,
there's a waiting list for them usually.
Yeah, we actually have a waiting list sometimes. And in fact, that's another thing. We always make sure in our bookstore we have a collection of things like aspirin if you need it, or, Pepto-Bismol if you have an upset tummy.
Random toothbrush.
Yeah, new toothbrush,
clean,
some
that are new.
toothpaste. Yeah. Oh, I forgot my shampoo. We have the little miniature shampoos and conditioners. Again, not a lot of those, so don't depend on us. But every year, we kind of have that kind of thing that happens. Some Hall's throat drops because you're talking a lot and you're like, oh, I didn't realize, do you have a cough drop or something like that? So we do have those for you. But the rooms are nice. They're clean. They're nice. I have certainly stayed in much, much, much worse.
Yeah.
And I mean, we love Lake Yale. We love going there. You and I have been on retreats there, and not just as faculty member, but as retreats. Now, if you've got a single room, you may still end up with a queen size bed and a twin, but some of you will then also have a king room. If you have any type of physical restrictions and you need a handicap room, you need to let us know. We only have a few and they may all be gone by now. Also, if you have physical restrictions and you can't go up and down stairs, you need to let us know. There are no elevators at Lake Yale. So you definitely need to let us know ahead of time. Once those rooms run out, they're gone. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so here's the next question, Taryn. What is FCWC doing regarding the current COVID situation? What safety guidelines are in place?
Okay, that's a great question, and I'm sure everyone is wondering. So we are not requiring masks. However, you are more than welcome to wear a mask or a face shield. We will have hand sanitizer everywhere. We will have Lysol spray everywhere. Last year, in between, we asked conferees once they were done with their 15-minute editor agent appointment to spray down the chair, to wipe it down. We would trade out pens. We'd have clean pens and dirty pens. We'd sanitize pens. We spaced out the chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had wipes everywhere. So obviously there's soap. So just, I would say we're going to ask people to use common sense and to use common courtesy. And also we have rubber gloves. So in the bookstore, if you want to browse through the bookstore, but you just don't really want to touch everything, we have rubber gloves that you can put on.
Yeah.
So
not really rubber gloves. They're just those little plastic gloves.
Yeah.
Those little clear gloves, like you're serving
in a cafeteria.
Yeah.
It might be a little big, but they'll keep your hands clean.
Yeah. But some people, I mean, we were really surprised last year. We ran out actually, I think, of the little gloves. Because, people say, well, at least put one on so I can pick something up and put it down, pick something up and put it down. They just, and again, plenty of hand sanitizer. I think good common sense. Last year, we had no reports of illness. And so, of course, if anything should happen, if it should get worse, we will follow whatever mandate the state requires, or we will follow whatever mandate the federal government requires, including if they say we have to shut it down. Then that's what we have to do. But we are just going to be very watchful and hopeful that does not happen. Very prayerful that does not happen.
Yeah. Okay, Eva, talk to me about the weather in Florida in October.
Yeah, the weather in October. It's pretty much anyone's guess. It's really mild. And so you may want to bring a jacket or a sweater, especially in the room. Sometimes the rooms get really cold. But outside, it's typically just beautiful in October. Yeah, you're going to love it, especially to take some time to walk out by the lake and down to the pier and have some quiet time with God. It's just gorgeous, but it does rain. And we don't know that it will rain. I don't think it rained last year, but sometimes it does rain. We actually had a retreat about the same time as we have FCWC several years ago. Rained the entire time we were there. So we were just sloshing in the water. So make sure you've got footwear that will, be appropriate for rain, an umbrella, or, whatever, just a raincoat, whatever you're going to need. But it's fabulous, and be sure just to, check the weather out right before you come.
Definitely go to your weather app. And one thing to keep in mind for those of you who are not from the South, because this is just a Southern thing. We have really big tree roots in the South that come up out of the ground sometimes, and they're very easy to trip over. So I know this has nothing to do with weather. Probably should have it back in the dress section, but just make sure that you, especially at night, that you're just looking where you're going. And if you're wearing shoes that you're not stable on a good day, might not be the best shoes to pack for Lake Yale.
Yeah, if you have, like you have a smartphone, you've got the flashlight, or you just, bring a flashlight. If you don't have a flashlight on a smartphone, and make sure you watch where you're going, because the tree roots, and this is from the live oaks, and it makes for a beautiful scenery, but it makes for treacherous walking. They will buckle the sidewalks, etc., of the roads. We're used to it. The other thing that we're used to is they're called Nosiems.
Oh man, they were so bad last year.
They were bad last year. So here's what they are. They're like little sand gnats, and they're white, so you don't see them, Nosiems, until you walk into them. So just know that they're not dangerous. They're
not going to bite you.
Yeah, they're not going to hurt much. But they are no fun to walk into. All of a sudden, you're just like,
it's like you're walking into a cloud of gnats.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That typically happens like first thing in the morning and maybe the last thing at night, but it's no biggie. It's no biggie. We're used to it down here.
That's right. That's right. Welcome to the South.
Yeah. So one more question.
All right.
If I'm a newbie, what's the first thing I need to do?
Well, number one, if you're a newbie, we are so glad that you are coming to the Florida Christian Writers Conference, and we hope that you will continue to come afterward. If you're a newbie, we highly, highly recommend that you go to the first time conferees meeting that Edwina Perkins teaches on Thursday morning at
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock at 9 o'clock. She's done this for the past few years, and Edwina knows everything about this conference. She's kind of been on faculty with us for a really long time. She's going to give you some great pointers, some great advice, some do's and don'ts. Hopefully, if your anxiety level is up here, she will bring that anxiety way down by, an hour later. Yeah, we've had people walk out of that orientation crying with relief because they're like, oh my word, this is not going to be as stressful as I thought it was.
Yes.
So please go to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, she knows everything. She can tell you some great stories. One of my personal favorites is when I was on faculty at Florida Christian Writers Conference, when Billy Wilson was running the conference. I arrived, and like everybody else, I have to stand in line and to get my packet and all this, which that's going to lead me to another question, actually, Taryn. Like, when you get there, what do you do? Well, you get registration and you get your packet. And again, it's in those double doors that's between McGuire and the dining hall. So that's where you go, and it's easy breezy, follow the crowd, that kind of thing. But I'm standing in line. And, of course, I can see the person who's doing the registration, and it's Linda Gilden, who now runs our bookstore, right? And Linda and I go way, way back, and here I am on faculty. And so I'm standing behind this woman, and I'm like, oh, come on, let's hurry up. And I'm saying it loud enough so Linda can hear me, right? And Linda, she kind of looks up and she gives me this, like evil eye. And she's working. And I'm like, oh, what's taking this woman so long? And she looks up at me again, and the woman in front of me turns around and she says, I don't think you're going to make a very good first impression like this. Oh, okay. Says, thank you so much for telling me. And then, of course, later on that day, I was introduced as faculty, and she came up to me and she said, I'm so embarrassed. I said, no. I was giving Linda a hard time, but you're right. You're right. It's like, you're kind of nervous about how you're supposed to act and react and this and that. We have a lot of fun at Florida Christian Writers Conference, but you know what? Going to that first time orientation will help soothe some of those I don't know what to do or how to act types of moments. The other thing I wanted to throw out here at the very, very end is the whole flight situation. If you are flying in, we are creating a list, and then also you can also create your own list by going to Florida Christian Writers Conference Writers at Facebook and join in and say, this is when I'm flying in, this is when I'm flying out. Anybody want to share a ride? We have in the past always had a shuttle that would come and pick you up and all of this for a cost. It's actually cheaper for you if you get an Uber, but you have to do it. Or, if you try to ride share or rent a car or something like that, much, much cheaper for you. But also we just had a problem every year with people calling us from the airport and saying, I'm here. Is somebody going to come and pick me up? And you didn't let us know that you were flying in. We had no idea. And now we either don't have room in the shuttle or we don't have a shuttle, that's going back, et cetera, et cetera. So we just decided we were the only conference out there that did this. We were just going to let you be on your own. You're all big people, you're adults, you can handle this. But ride sharing is so much more fun and obviously less expensive. So be sure to let us know if you want to be put on our list, but then also go to Florida Christian Writers Conference Writers at Facebook and you can sign up that way as well.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Is that it, Miss Taryn?
I think that was it.
That's all the questions we got. If you've got
all the questions we got, if you have other questions, feel free to stick them on the Facebook writers page, and either another conferee will answer them for you, like, hey, this is what they did last year, or we'll get on there and answer them for you.
Yes, absolutely. Or just send us an email at floridacwc@aol.com. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions.
And don't forget, if you are a commuter and you are not going to be there Thursday, to sign up, or I don't mean to commuters, or if you're a la carte, if you're only coming for 1 or 2 days, you need to email at that same email address, floridacwc@aol.com. For the subject line, you can put commuting. And it'll get to me, and I need your 3 agents and editors. Go online, though. This is one thing we need to talk about real quick. Go online, review what the editors and the agents and the publishers are looking for.
Yes.
We have literally had agents and editors come up to us afterwards and say, well, I had a meeting with, Jane Doe, and she sat down and she looked at me and said, well, what do you represent?
Yeah. Yes. That happened to me when I was representing crosswalk.com at conferences. People would sit down with me and they were just so excited that they made an appointment with an editor, and they would sit down with me and they would say, so what do you do? So what is Crosswalk? And I would think, oh, no. You're supposed to know who I am first. Yeah. Because you want to make sure you're using your time wisely and you're using their time wisely. So look at who you want to represent. Is what you write something that they are interested in? Don't make an appointment with an editor for your middle grade novel if they don't represent middle grade. Absolutely. So
tell me your top 3 people and let me know.
Yes, do your homework. We've got lots of good editors, agents, freelancers coming in. Freelancers can be a great ticket for you. Don't think they're just for, just mentoring with the Brainstorm with the experts. They have already plowed the road. So they are just, just fountains of knowledge. Absolutely. Fountains of knowledge. Yes. Okay. Anything else that you can think of?
That's it. We'll think of questions after we get off, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will. We don't need to say that.
Awesome.
We're looking forward to seeing you at Florida Christian Writers Conference. If you've already signed up, if you haven't yet signed up, again, please remember we are limited in the number of people we can bring in. So once we've hit that number, we've hit that number. We will be able to allow you, if you wanted to come in and, but we don't have any more room for you. You can go to the Hampton Inn. We're going to work out a deal with them, and then you just sign in as a commuter. So that is still a possibility, but we are limited in the number of people who can actually stay on campus. So just keep that in mind. Also, if you have financial needs, be sure to go to the website, word-weavers.com/Florida events and look up at that little top right-hand corner, the drop-down menu, look for scholarships, because we do have scholarships available. And I believe, you have to have it in?
It's the 15th, August 15th.
So you got a few more days. Yeah. And then we're going to announce the winners on September 1st,
Sure.
if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
got a few more days.
That's right. And that, just to clarify, y'all, there was a wonky date in the loom. They had the contest deadline was August 15th. The scholarship deadline is August 15th. The contest deadline is September 30th. You still have over a month to work and refine and get your pieces. Pieces have been coming in. I am excited. Keep those pieces coming. The awards night is a fun night. So send your pieces in.
Yes. And listen, don't wait until the absolute last minute. And now you've got to pay $26 to overnight it. You know, don't do that. Don't do that. But we're giving you plenty of time to get it as your work is perfected as you want it to be. Oh, didn't we have some questions about I don't understand the whole thing about the devos, because you can do 3 devos and 3 poems.
Yeah, because we actually do get this question a lot. So if you want to enter devotionals, your $25 covers 3 different devotionals. They don't all have to use the same Bible verse. That's a question we get a lot. Do I have to write 3 on the same Bible verse? No, you can have 3 different devotionals, 3 different Bible verses, and your $25 covers those 3 entries. Same with poetry. And the reason we do that is because those are usually much smaller entries, and it just didn't seem right to charge $25 for, 1,500 words or whatever the other, I can't even remember anymore, the other categories are, and then the same for, a small piece of poetry.
Right. Yeah, because a devotional should never be more than 500 words. That's yeah. Anything beyond that becomes an article. Yeah. So that's why we allow you to send up to 3, and they will be judged individually.
That's correct.
Not as a whole, but individually. So it's a great way to enter the contest on both devos and poetry.
And we consider something published if there has been a monetary exchange.
Yes.
Okay. If you put it on your blog,
it's not published.
It's not published.
It's published.
If your friend publishes it on their blog, it's not published. If you were paid money for it, it's published.
Yes.
All right.
So that's a compilation book and you were paid.
Yes.
Then it's considered published. Or if it went into a compilation book and you were paid by getting books, it's considered published, so that you will not be able to enter.
Yeah.
But you just publish it on your blog. Yeah, you're good.
That's right. All right. I think that was it.
I think that really is it. All right. We look forward to seeing you in October.
Absolutely.
Bye for now.